Okay, let's hear now from our race winner of tonight's 55th annual Coca-Cola 600, and that's Jimmie Johnson, and he drives a number 48 Lowe's Patriotic Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. He'll be joined shortly by crew chief Chad Knaus and team owner Rick Hendrick. Jimmie, congratulations.
Thank you.
Certainly your fourth win here at the Coca-Cola 600. As I announced earlier, your seventh points win here at Charlotte, and that's the most ever in the history of the sport. Congratulations, Chad. But Jimmie, just talk about, winning this race. Congratulations, Rick. Winning this race, and this is such a big race on our schedule and in our sport, and it culminates obviously a very, very big day for motorsports. But you were the last one standing, and just talk about how this race unfolded for you.
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. Through the years, a lot of reference this race as one of our majors, and I certainly agree with it. Agree with that. 600 miles around here is no easy task, and to deal with all the things that are thrown at a race team through the evening with the track changing, the mechanical obstacles that you have to overcome, keeping an engine alive, tires alive, all of it. It's a serious team effort to finish 600 miles and then to win here, especially as hard as we had to run throughout the night and the pace we had to keep up. Certainly proud of that. And then this weekend, there's so much great racing today, and then obviously the big celebration. I shouldn't say celebration, but to be able to honor the men and women that have served our country and have given the ultimate sacrifice. Certainly tomorrow's Memorial Day, and to have a patriotic paint scheme on our race car, and to say thank you and to the families that have lost loved ones, and then to the men and women that are out there serving, to see us out there on the racetrack with a patriotic paint scheme. I know it means something to them, and proud to be a part of that.
Thank you, Jimmie. And Chad Knaus, certainly a great effort by the 48 team throughout the whole weekend. Set on the pole Thursday night, and then just very, very impressive, showing the championship medal that you are. Just talk about the whole experience and winning this race and what it means.
Obviously this is a very special place in my heart. My first victory in the Sprint Cup Series came here with Jeff Gordon back in 1994. So to be able to win this race again with Jimmie, I don't know how many couple of times we've won it. It's pretty special. It's really neat. I have to definitely say thank you to, Kenny Francis and Casey Kane. We definitely robbed the bank on those guys. They came over here last week and they had a very fast race car, and we definitely pillaged their notes a little bit and came back with some of the ingredients that they had in their race car and put that in the Lowe's 48 car this weekend, and Jimmie definitely responded well to that, so thank you to those guys. But it was a good weekend, obviously, to be able to go out there and unload quickly. I think we were second in qualifying practice, if I remember correctly, and to be able to go out there and qualify in the pole was fantastic. That's something that we've struggled with here as of late. And then to be very fast in both practice sessions on Saturday during the day, and we worked hard with Jimmie and the engineers and tried to understand what the track was going to do with the temperature changes, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. We had to make some pretty big swings at it, but all in all, it was a great weekend.
And Rick, certainly Jimmie shows just again the number 48 team, the strength of this team, and now you have three of your four drivers bound for the chase. And just talk about this victory and how big it is for your entire team.
I think number one, Charlotte is kind of home, and I've always won my first NASCAR race here with Senior in '83 in the Nationwide or Busch Series. So it's a special place. All our families here, but winning a race, Jimmie's been and Chad have been so close this year in several situations. Got away to just get this one behind us is great, and this is a tough race to win with the adjustments you have to make and just the endurance of this race itself. We're just glad to get another 600 victory. Glad to see these guys get the win so we can go to Dover and relax.
Take questions now. Who's got what question? Raise your hand. Take Al
I
Pierce.
kind of have a question, Kerry.
You do?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What the hell are y'all going to write about now? We won.
That's good, Jimmy.
Anybody?
Jimmy.
Bueller?
That's good. Like that. Let's go right here. Al Pierce.
Yeah, Al Pierce from Water Week. Chad, you mentioned that you pilfered from notes from your teammates. How often does that happen, and did it indeed help you tonight?
Yeah, it helped a hell of a lot. I do it as often as we need it, and that's the beauty of what we've got at Hendrick Motorsports. Is if we need help and we're not getting the result that we need, we've got 3 other teams that we can definitely bounce ideas off of and get direction from. This year's been a bit of a struggle for the 48 from an understanding of what the new rules are and what the car wants, and even from Jimmie understanding what it is that he feels like that he needs. We're all still trying to understand that. I don't think we're where we need to be 100% yet, but we're definitely getting it in the right direction. I think Dover and Pocono are going to be a good telltale of where the 48 is, and but we use whoever we can. We use them up, man. I don't care who comes up with the idea. If it's fast, I'll steal it. I don't care. That's how I work.
They've stolen plenty from you.
Let's go to Mike up here on the front.
Mike Neff from FrontStretch.com. One for Jimmie, one for Judd. First of all, congratulations, Jimmie. Did you remember how to get to victory lane since it's been so long since you've been there?
Yeah, 12 long races. I guess we've created this environment for ourselves, and it's I honestly wasn't stressing. The fact that 12 races created that much buzz just means that we've done a lot of great things over the years, so I'll turn it into a compliment.
No doubt. You dominated at Charlotte/Lowe's back before they did the levigation and repaving, and since then it's been a little bit tougher for you, but we've heard that the character's coming back. Is this kind of an indication that that's playing into your hands? And for Chad, the other 2 guys, Danica and Kurt, both had engine problems. Did that cause you any trepidation knowing that you had Hendrick engine in the car?
We're getting closer to the old track. I still think we're probably 3 to 5 years away from it really getting there, but the track's rough. They've started to put tar strips down, and we have those seams kind of developing. There's other patchwork that's been done on the track, so it's coming around. Whatever this asphalt mixture is, it's pretty rock solid. I mean, it's taken a long time to finally get there, and we're getting into a sweet spot with the track, I believe.
Let's go in the back with Hunter. Well, we'll wait for Hunter. This marks the 14th time.
Trepidation is a great word, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
That was very good. I was surprised to hear that out of this gallery, not going to lie.
Yeah. Here's a little nugget, too. This marks the 14th time in the last 26 Coca-Cola 600s that a first-time season winner has won the race, and certainly that's a big deal this year with the new chase format. So, Hunter, go ahead. Need a microphone back there. Please, thank you.
Hey, Jimmy, Hunter Thomas with thefourthturn.com. Was there any point in the beginning of the season up until now that you started to kind of panic because you hadn't had a win? And also, was there any extra added pressure coming into tonight since this is your best track?
No, I mean, I honestly look at the goal. The first goal is to make the chase, and you want to win races at the end of the season. And you have to win races at the end of the season to be the champions. Of course, we want to win early and often, but we are holding steady in the championship points. In my opinion, I don't believe there'll be 16 different winners, and I felt like a strong championship points position would get us into the first phase of the chase. Granted, tonight simplifies things. We don't have to worry about that, so we'll take it and move on. But we really want to heat up and win races later in the season, especially before the chase starts. So. More than anything, I just got tired of answering the question. There wasn't a lot of frustration due to the pressure of winning. Certainly there was frustration in not having fast race cars, but that's a different situation, and we hold ourselves to a high standard, and I think we're on to some good things now and have a good direction to go with our race cars.
Right here. Go ahead, sir.
Jimmy, Mike Leslie from Fox 46 here in Charlotte. You said after you won the poll that you wanted folks in the garage to fear the 48 team again. You said you didn't think a poll would do it, that a couple wins would be necessary for that to happen. a win like this where you control a lot of the race, do you feel like that may be starting to happening, or do you need to win at Dover as well?
Yeah, I mean, we're off to a good start, but multiple wins do that, and if we can take advantage of the next few tracks that are great tracks for us, that'd be great momentum. Ideally, you'd love to do it before the chase gets started and carry that right into the start of the chase, but you never know when you're going to peak and when everything's going to be just right, but we'll hopefully peak at the right time.
Let's go to the press box for a couple questions. Go ahead, please.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. I've got a couple of questions. First, Rick, do you have any idea what the diagnosis is on the two engines that failed?
I think they were probably valve related, probably a spring broke first, and then they swallowed the valve, and that's the weakest part of the valve train. And we thought I know I talked to the engine guys a little while ago, and they're going to diagnose them and see what they can find, but usually that's what happens. It's a valve spring.
Was there any concern when Junior had his issues that you might be looking at three engines, and did the 48, the 5, or the 24 have any concerns either?
Oh, I definitely had a lot of concerns after the first one went, and Junior didn't have an engine problem. That was probably a brake problem, a vibration, and he thought it was something else. But yeah, anytime you break one, I guess that's the part of the racing that I fear the most is a part failure, and when you break one, it's bad, but when you break two, it's really bad, and because they're all just alike. So it was a lot of uneasy feelings for me till it was over.
And for all three of you, since you've accomplished what you've been able to, and will certainly leave a huge mark in the history of motorsports, can you kind of touch on what Kurt Busch was able to accomplish today as a rookie, as a guy who never gotten an open wheel car before and was able to pull off what he did at Indy?
I think it was an amazing job. I think it speaks highly of the talent that's in this garage, in the sport, to be able to go up there and never been in a car before, the Indy, this May stretch, and to finish sixth, he showed a lot of talent, and I think it was nice to see the fans recognize him for what he had done, and I think it was an outstanding. Jimmie, you and Chad can voice your opinions, but that was an amazing job, I thought.
Yeah, I completely agree. He did an awesome job. Made us all really proud here in the garage area watching, and hats off to him.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think it's pretty spectacular. It's I think Juan Pablo had a lot of motivation to try to finish ahead of him today. So it was great. Kurt did a great job. The thing that really amazes me is we all talk about communication, and to be able to go and put himself in that world and begin to try to communicate with those guys that have a completely different vocabulary than what we do on the Cup side. It's pretty spectacular for him actually to go through that. It showed a lot of maturity on his part and a lot of desire. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Stay upstairs. Go ahead, press box.
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. Jimmie and Chad, you guys have both been, fairly open in the weeks leading up to this about how you were still looking for the handle on the car and the feel for this new rules package. And Chad, you said tonight that you feel like you still have work to do. There's still some steps to be proven. But I'm kind of wondering how that is. I mean, it looks like you just went out there and waxed everybody in one of the biggest races of the year. What else do you need to prove? Or how far do you think you're still off?
I think we're off a lot. I think that we're more than capable of going out there and winning a race if everything goes right. I think tonight we had a really good race car, and I think Jimmie did a fantastic job. But I think if things didn't go our way, we wouldn't have. Quite honestly, I think we need to get back to the form of the 48 car to where we make it go our way, and that's my goal. And I think we're a little bit away from that. But once we get there, it'll be the 48 of old, and we'll be able to go out there and win races like we're supposed to.
Yeah, I agree. I think the 4-car could make stuff happen, to Chad's point. And we had a great night and took advantage of opportunity. But there's still some room to go for sure, and luckily we have time on our side.
Any other questions in the press box? Let's come back down here. Let's go over here to Jerry to the left, and then we'll go to Bob and then Dustin. Right here to your right. Thank you.
Jerry Jordan, kicking the tires. Chad, you talk about you guys are behind. Does the win give you an opportunity to do some things and take some chances going in? Jimmie talking about putting some wins together. What risks can you take going forward now that you're secure?
That's a great point. We hadn't been in that position yet to really explore that. But the thing that's on our side is that we've got, like Jimmie said, a little bit of time to really try to get an understanding of what's going on. The other thing we've got on our side is we're going to Dover, Delaware, which is by far and above Jimmie's favorite racetrack. Doesn't hurt. Then we're going to Pocono, which is one of my favorite racetracks. Doesn't hurt. So I think over the course of the next couple of weeks, we're going to be in pretty good shape.
Let's go to Bob Pockris and then Dustin Long.
Bob Pockris, Sporting News. I have two for Rick. The first is, typically, or when Jimmie wins a championship, sometimes they come out a little bit slow just because everybody had been, or many teams have been kind of working on the next year a little bit more than they had at the end of the year. Did you see this as just kind of the typical, post-championship kind of start for this team?
I'm probably not the guy to answer that question, but, I think that the new rule package, like they said, it fell into maybe Jeff's driving style in juniors more than it did more than Jimmie and Casey. And I think the 5 and the 48 had a little bit more work to do than the 88 and the 24. And that's just a matter of getting Jimmie what he wants and Chad understanding the car. But they worked hard and worked together. And then there have been races that we were so fast, like California. And Jeff had a good long-run car. He's had it all year. But one thing I've learned watching these guys, and what works in the 24 doesn't necessarily work in the 48. Jimmie maybe doesn't like it, or it doesn't work for him. So we have the information to look at, but that gives you a baseline, but it doesn't guarantee that he can go out and win with it.
And after the race, Jeff Gordon, when he was talking about his back, he said that me staying in the car going through what we went through is only going to earn me more respect with this team. What world does Jeff Gordon live in that he feels like he needs to earn any more respect with his team?
I think he probably said that without really thinking of maybe what he said, because he's got that team respects him so much, and he's been the work. That Jimmie said he's just a humble guy, but I know he was in a lot of pain, and I was worried that he would get in the car, but Alan and I've talked, and the team's talked about it. It looks like Jeff Gordon of 20 years ago. I mean, he's fired up, and he's up there every week, and I think that was just something he said because that team respects him, and I think he's got the entire garage talking about the kind of year he's having right now.
Dustin?
Dustin Long, MRN.com. Kind of related to that, but I want to ask you, Chad, and part of what Jeff's comment was is the respect in regards to the toughness. Obviously, people know what he can do in the car, but he says, well, maybe they don't understand the toughness, or I haven't. You obviously been with him through the years. I know he talked about he wanted a Southern 500, getting sick in the car. One, do those guys understand the toughness of him? And two, what does it mean, since you've been a crew guy, to see a driver to do something like that when you're a crew guy who's working 100 hours, 120 hours a week, to see somebody go through that for you?
I think that, I was hearing, listening to that question before, and I completely understand, because as a crew guy, sometimes you think that the drivers, they have it pretty easy, right? They fly around in big fancy jets, and they show up at 3 o'clock, and they drive race cars, and they go home and show back up again on Friday, and do it again on Saturday, Sunday, and then we see them again on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I think what Jeff was trying to say is that he understands what his team does and what they go through to build the race cars, how his pit crew's there at 7 o'clock every morning to practice pit stops and start working out, and what they go through setting up the pits when it's 120 degrees outside and waiting 5 hours for the race to start. He gets that, and I think that's what he was trying to say, is that, you know, he wanted to prove to his guys that he was going to do his just work just like they do every single day. That being, yes, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think, you know, they have the utmost respect, just like we have the utmost respect for Jimmie. But when a crew guy sees something like that, it almost automatically knocks you up to the next level. Like, I've seen what Jeff has done over the years. I've seen what Jimmie's done over the years. So that level of respect that you have for somebody when you're ingrained with them and you see what the pain and the desire and the what it is that they put into it, man, that you get it. You know, I mean, you really get it. So I think what he said is actually true. I think his guys will now, not that they didn't respect him before, but they have a new appreciation for what it is that he does.
One additional note, this is Rick Hendrick's 11th Coca-Cola 600th win. So congratulations on that.
11?
Yes. Let's go to the front row here, Aaron. Aaron?
Aaron Burns, National Speed Sport News. Jimmie, I remember you telling me last year about your first start ever at Charlotte and how, in the Sprint Cup Series, and how it was a humbling experience for you. Now you've got more wins in points-paying races at Charlotte than anybody else. You've got 7. So I'm just curious kind of what that means to you now, if you can kind of talk about that. And Rick, what does it mean to you to have Jimmie, since you've had him since 2001, and now he has that record?
Yeah, I'll never forget that first start here. One that week was a tough week. I lost one of my closest friends on the front straightaway with Blaze Alexander. And the nationwide race and practice, and looked at his skid marks, you know, every lap that I came through there in Cup and nationwide practice, which was, you know, something tough to overcome. But you know, we qualified well and made the show, and the other Lowe's car didn't, so that was a huge feather in our cap. And then I remember spinning, and as I'm sliding into the wall, I see Jeff coming from my door, getting ready to run on the side of me, and he's racing for the championship. It's late in the year, and I'm thinking, please don't let him hit me. You know, this will be, I'll have my first and last race all at once. So to have things fast forward to where it is today, and then to be able to be the winningest driver here, says a ton. I mean, this track means so much to the racing community. You know, there's some tracks that have a bigger awareness to fans and media and others outside of racing, but this track, you know, when you come here and run well, there's just something about it, with it being in the backyard of all the race teams. There's a lot of pride out of running well here. So I have that pride, and to have the most wins here, you know, takes it next level for sure.
You know, for me, Charlotte is home too, and it's been friends with Bruton for a long time, and we always kid him about like taking his money, but you know, the fact that it's here and the shop's only a mile away, and my first win here was with Robert G. My first NASCAR win was in '83 in the Busch Series. So this is a special place for me. I mean, it ranks up there with Daytona and Indianapolis. To win in Charlotte is really special. It's home, and anytime we can accomplish something that someone else hasn't, it's rewarding to the organization.
Any other questions? Right here, Kelly.
Kelly Crano for Popular Speed. Rick, you've watched these two for a long time, and they've accomplished a lot of things. Tonight, Jimmie added a few more numbers, 67 career wins. He's now the all-time points leader here at Charlotte Motor Speedway wins. Is there any time that you still just sit back and look at these two and are amazed at what they've accomplished?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, it really is. I think about Jimmie riding with me with my son to the nationwide races and waiting for him, and buying him a burger, and these two, what they've accomplished, and when you put them together, you have no idea that it's going to be anything like this, like Ray and Jeff. I mean, you never know, and what they've been able to accomplish together it's been amazing. And I always say I'm just glad I don't have to race against them. And so I've been amazed for years at what they've been able to accomplish. And the thing that amazes me the most is that they are always digging to be better. No matter how good they are or how many races they win, they strive to take it up another notch.
Congratulations to the number 48 team, Jimmie Johnson and crew chief Chad Knaus and Rick Hendrick. And big win here this weekend, and enjoy it, and we'll see you at Dover.